Hey guys, what is up? Grant right here. I'm back here today for a new video. I want to say a quick thank you to everyone who came and showed out for my last video reaction to Mariah Carey's new single. I knew the request was going to come for what I'm going to be reviewing today. Mariah did, well, technically, Barbra Streisand, Mariah Carey, and Ariana Grande released a new song together called One Heart, One Voice. I did get a request for it. And I did, prior to that request, I actually was seeing things online that they were going to be releasing a song together, you know, amongst the three of them. So I was super, super excited. I didn't listen to the whole song. I did listen to a great deal of it. Was very, very impressed. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But I was particularly impressed by the amount of restraint all three of them did show, and really allowing the beauty of the actual song to shine through. You guys, if you've heard me on this channel, you've heard me say that probably about 2 zillion times, but I can't stress how important it is when you there's a right amount of intensity and a mix of restraint within a song to really, especially a power ballad like the one I'm going to be reviewing, to really allow the actual instrumentation and the beauty and the message of the song to, you know, really take center stage. So they did a wonderful job on that. But like I said, I'm not going to spoil it to you. We're going to look at it together. So get something to drink, get something to eat, feel good, feel cozy, and join me for this good time as per usual. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before we begin today's video, as always, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Become a subscriber. Give the video a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing here, and consider becoming a patron over at my Patreon to get priority video requests and other perks alongside my other members over there. I would love to have you, and so would the rest of the community. Now let's dive in.
In countless stories since ancient time, the poets spoke of it in verse and rhyme. A woman's heart and soul can't be defined by words and reason alone.
A woman's heart lives with joy.
Unknown.
All right. Let me know if you guys are feeling it right, here along with me. That was absolutely mind-bogglingly breathtaking. Nobody cry. There are so many things I want to unpack with this. I don't even know where to start. I just want to say a big thank you once again for those who did request this. I was going to react to it regardless, but thank you so much for thinking of such a wonderful thing for me to react to. What is particularly so special about this is 3 generations of sort of the cream of the crop singers of their time joining forces after, after decades. In Barbra Streisand's case, Barbra Streisand is, one of the benchmark singers of just art of all time in general. I mean, she is, I've reacted to her so many times on the show, and I've stated the same thing. Everything you need to know about singing in general, you learn it from her. I mean, without her, the rest of these singers, there would be none of them. She is, like I said, just such a force, such a magnificent talent that the world will never, ever witness again. I mean, she is just... I grew up listening to her, thanks to my mother. My mother was probably her biggest fan, and she continues to be such an inspiration to me to this day, just for, excellence in, and mastery in singing and just showmanship in general. So I wanted to get that out of the way, just pay my respects for how wonderful of a, talent and how, much of an inspiration she's always been. You have, obviously, Mariah Carey. I don't even need to go into detail about her. Mariah Carey is one of the most influential voices of all time. Probably one of my favorite singers, in top 5 of my favorite singers of all time, alongside with Whitney and a couple of others. Like I said, without her, there would be no Ariana or the rest of these girls we have today. So she just laid the groundwork for, that kind of singing. And Ariana, she's arguably, one of the best singers of, her generation. Absolutely amazing talent as well. I'm not very big on a lot of the entertainment and her generation, the newer generation, as I came before that. But I have a big amount of respect for her. She's absolutely an incredible force of her own. And she, it's so wonderful looking at this. She grew up idolizing these two, Mariah and Barbra. So for her, this must have been such a humongous deal for her to be able to actually stand beside both of her idols and, create this together. So absolutely, such a beautiful moment just for me to understand, how special the sort of situation behind the actual song. Just absolutely wonderful to be able to witness. Vocally, I want to start, give the props to Barbra. I mean, the preservation that she has been singing for her entire life, longer than these other two have been singing, and her voice, just the preservation that she has been able to accomplish through really great technique, through just taking care of herself, for not, getting caught up in the party lifestyle a lot of entertainers did. It just goes to shine, so wonderfully over here. And the depth and the richness that she has gained, and the maturity in her voice in her, her older years, just absolutely magnificent. I can't even begin to explain how just impressed I am with how wonderful she still sounds at her age. Absolutely amazing. And it's such a wonderful thing to bring to the attention of up-and-coming singers how important taking care of your instrument is. And this is, like I said, if you're going to learn anything about that, you learn it from her. I mean, she just is the teacher of all teachers for everything singing. And like I said, every part of her voice is still so wonderfully intact. And what I love about her, I said this about Mariah, the sign of a true musician is knowing where your range is currently and knowing how to adjust vocal arrangements to suit that, not trying to push your voice to where it's no longer. And her voice obviously did drop throughout the years. It's part of life. Every singer goes through it, but she knows how to use it with her current range. And that is such an underappreciated skill. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that just continue to try to push, and it's like it just does not, it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound professional, and it just does not look good on your part to be trying to go outside of your current voice when you could just arrange it to really, really suit your current voice and to bring out your strengths present day. And she always does such a wonderful job with that. I cannot stress how important that is enough. I'm so big on that, because after I turned 30, a lot of changes vocally started happening to me, and I really had to learn how to sort of, retrain my voice and relearn how to sing. The same thing that happened, after puberty when I was as a teenager, completely lost my voice, as most people do. You have to retrain your voice, how to learn how to sing all over again. And when you can do that and really, really learn how to bring out the new strengths in your voice in a very professional way, it really, really looks good on your part. She did such a wonderful job on this. Absolutely stunning. And especially the vibrato. I've said this a million times. Her vibrato is arguably the best of all. Her and Whitney, in my opinion, hold the two top spots. I've said it before with the vibrato. Absolutely stunning. Mariah, I absolutely love her tone on this, and she was extremely restrained. In my opinion, it really was as to show respect for Barbra. And what I want to put this out there. A lot of people, I feel, were expecting a sort of competition of vocal, gymnastics amongst the three of them. And I am really happy that I was correct in my perception of what they were going to do. A lot of times when you see a duet, an upcoming duet with three powerhouse vocalists, you're expecting that naturally, because people are constantly expecting competition among powerhouse singers. And I am such a big advocate for the opposite of that. I feel, I've said this before on this channel, when you are joining forces with another gifted vocalist, it's not a competition. It's a give and a take. It's a give of one thing that you're great at, and a take at another thing another one of the vocalists is good at, and together you make magic. You join forces and you combine each of your strengths. You don't try to outshine one another. And like I said, it's a big difference between a true musician and a novice, in knowing how to bring out the magic while not trying to overpower one another. And these three singers, they're each in their own right so accomplished. There's no need for that. None of them have anything to prove, and that really just it showed fully on this how restrained they were able to be in their own space. And they gave what they needed to, but they let the others shine where they needed to also. It was just such a wonderful medley of three outstanding one-of-a-kind talents. Just, I cannot state how much of an impression that made upon me. Ariana, absolutely beautiful. Such a wonderful addition to this. Like I said, it's almost like you have the child, the mother, and then the godmother joining forces. So like I said, three generations. It's such a beautiful moment. And what's so interesting is when you have three singers from three generations doing, a song together, you really get to hear the differences. And it's not just a difference in the actual voice, a difference in the actual singing sort of techniques of the time. Barbra Streisand comes from a time when you sang, you just actually sang. There wasn't a plethora of runs and riffs and all that stuff. You really had to be able to actually sing. And I'm not saying you guys know, I've said it before, I love riffs and runs, but behind all that, if you cannot actually hold the notes and actually sing straight first, you don't have it. I cannot stress it enough. I am constantly listening and hearing younger singers running all around the scale of a song because they can't actually hold the notes correctly. You have to learn the basics before you learn how to do all the other quote-unquote impressive stuff. And what we have present day a lot of times is a lot of singers trying to show off when they haven't even mastered the basics first. master the basics and then you learn the rest. And that's, like I said, in her time, that's how it was. There was no pitch correction, there was no auto-tune, there's a whole ton of things that go on in the studio a lot of people aren't aware of that weren't present back then. So you really, really had to have the chops. And you either had it or you didn't. You didn't have the luxury of doing as many takes and being able to do as much in the studio, like I said, to sort of piece together bits and pieces of vocals the way you do today. You really had to be able to nail it. And you had to, like I said, you had to have it. You either had it or you didn't. There was no in between the way there is today, sort of. So Barbra Streisand, like I said, she just is like you hear her, her sort of technique of singing, and then you hear Mariah. With the mix, Mariah is a mix of that. Mariah was always able to do both. She was able to do, the really, really, really intense, just straight singing, the clean singing, and then she was also able to do the impressive, the runs and the riffs and all that. So with her, you hear a combination of them both. And then Ariana, it's sort of the same thing, but you do hear a little more of that present day sort of the run based singing with a lot of the melisma going on. So it's such a beautiful thing to like I said, to hear all three of these different generational technical aspects of singing come together. And it really, like I said, it's a good masterclass to hear for the up and coming singer. So you sort of aren't just, your mind isn't shut off only to one format of singing. You get to hear three different, so you get to incorporate that all into your actual, your personal brand and your style. And it's very, very important. Growing up, I listened to so many different types of music. I'm a biracial person. I grew up, my mother's white, my father was black, but I grew up in a predominantly white, neighborhood white household. While going to school with black kids and other kids, so I was just in the presence of so many different types of music, rock, soul, R&B, gospel, country, classical. I just learned how to incorporate so many different vocal formats into my own, and that's how I created my own. And it's very, very important for, I think, singers in general, regardless of what your genre is, to sort of get a taste of every single vocal, every single music category that you can, to really learn, like I said, how to take bits and pieces of each genre and incorporate it into your own. And that's where I feel the best singers sort of stem from a lot of times, is those that did step outside of the box and, put their mind into different, vocal circumstances, so to speak. And they just, like I said, this was just such a wonderful example of that. And I feel, while I do kind of secretly, a lot of people have said the same thing, I do wish that Barbra and Mariah would have done a duet or in the early 90s at Mariah's prime. I'm so glad that they finally joined forces sort of later than never. And like I said, just such a beautiful experience to be able to witness this. Once again, I don't want to ramble on too much and bore you guys, but this just absolutely really was a highlight into the upcoming week for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Humongous round of applause for the three of them for this magnificent trio. Once again, if you guys have any other requests from either three of these vocalists, please feel free to leave them in my inbox. I'm always looking through it, and I will get to as many requests as possible. Thank you so much for joining me today for this reaction video. Once again, become a subscriber to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and consider becoming a patron over at my Patreon to get priority video requests alongside other members of the community. I have a lot of new things upcoming soon for this channel this year that I'm super excited about, so stay tuned. And stay tuned for new music coming from me as well soon. I'm in the process of working on a new single, the first new single since my album in 2022. So I'm super excited about that, and I cannot wait to see you guys here soon. Have a wonderful day, and I will check you all later. Peace.